What's up, everybody? It's your boy Cool Ty coming back at you one
What's
more
up,
time
world?
with
It's your boy
great
Ty.
dollar bin pickups. But these dollar bin pickups going to be a little bit different. Today, we're going to talk about the Mark Jeweler variant inserts. I have been on the hunt for probably, man, maybe four months at this point, and I have been picking up some juicy Mark Jeweler variants. And we're going to talk about these. We're going to show them. I'm going to give you guys some images so that way you can see, you'll know what to, and some information so you'll know what to go out and search for. But like always, I want everybody to know, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you greatly giving me this time. Please like, share, subscribe, share the video on all your social media platforms with all your collector groups. I would greatly appreciate it. You're going to hear some little feet walking around. Come here, Gizzy. We have a new foster pup, Gizzy, and his name is Gizzy. He's been with us here for a little over a month. Come here, baby. Yeah. You want to say hi? Come here. Let's say hi. This is the Gizinator. He's one big love. Look over here. Say hi. Hi. Anyway, he's one big love. Smells good today because he got a little bass. Good boy. So Gizzy is running around the house enjoying himself. We foster for an organization called Four Paws, and they get animals, cats, dogs, mostly cats and dogs, from different shelters, different kill shelters around the area, different states. We've gotten some from Louisiana as well. And so what we do is the organization grabs these animals, brings them here. There's a huge group of people that foster these animals, takes them to their vet visits, gives them love, and then we hold on to them for a while, and then we give them to their forever families that the organization finds for us. So the name of the organization is called Four Paws. I foster for them. This little character right here, let me tell you, I have written, as many of you know, I'm a writer as well. I have one kid's book coming out called Daddy Do Right. My next book is actually about him. So I have a few things written, but I think the book about him should come next. So it's going to be called Gizzy the Sock Bandit. And if you listen to the title, you'll know exactly why I call him. You'll know what the book is about. Gizzy loves taking socks. He loves stealing socks. He's got socks all over this house that he picks up. So that book will support the nonprofit organization Four Paws. So once that book comes out, I'll make sure I do a spotlight on the book, show you guys where you can donate. If you are furry pet fathers and daddies and uncles and moms and dads and you love the little furry friends, I'll let you know where you can donate for that. If you do have an ASPCA or a Humane Society in your city, please think about donating to them. They can always take food, they can always take toys, blankets, bedding, things for the animals there. So that's a great way to give back locally to your local community to where you can actually see your dollars at work. So I appreciate that. So if you do, please go ahead and give to your local animal shelter and ASPCA. So moving on, we're going to talk about Mark Jeweler variants. And, there's a lot of information out there about Mark Jeweler variants, and I have to give it up to a gentleman who I found on the CGC boards. I think his name is Captain Kirk. I'll make sure his information is up here. It's an old article, but he did a lot of great information or a lot of great research and gathered information about DC's Mark Jeweler variant. And I really appreciate it, even though I know that's old. I'm going to still give him a shout out. I also want to give a shout out to Comic Tom. He did a really good few videos actually on Mark Jeweler. I have researched a ton of people, watched videos. I've done a bunch of reading. I found a bunch of things, even on comicspriceguide.com, which is who I use for my collection. They have a really cool list of their Mark Jeweler variants. So you can always go there to figure out which books you have or which books have the Mark Jeweler variant inserts. So let's talk about the Mark Jeweler variants. So I found out about the Mark Jeweler variants a while ago. I never really had it on my radar as things that I should start looking for. I never really overly stressed about it Until one day, your boy, the dollar bin champ, happened to be combing through some dollar bins in Maryland and Virginia. I've gone to different places, and lo and behold, I end up finding one just accidentally. And then I find another one. And so I said, okay, let me do some real research to figure out this whole Mark Jeweler thing. So, in short, the Mark Jeweler variants, they are from around August 1972 till July 1986. And these variants were created for military personnel. So they were sold on or near military bases at the BX and at the PX. These variants included a centerfold insert that would sell jewelry, wedding rings, engagement rings, rings for the different armed services, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, the whole nine. And so people could order and buy jewelry, mail order, through the Mark Jeweler Diamond Company, and they could have it sent to them no matter where they are. So it was specifically around military bases. Most of these I thought most of these only appeared in Marvel and DC Comics. But you will see with some of the books that I'm going to show you, I actually accidentally ran through some gold key issues that had the Mark Jeweler variant insert, which I was not aware of. So I'm going through just kind of Porky Pig, Donald Duck, Daffy, the whole nine. I just kind of ignored all of those things. And then I accidentally flipped through one, and lo and behold, it had a Mark Jeweler variant. So, of course, it took me more time. And I want to tell you guys, just so we're clear, I actually spent hours looking for these now that they're on my radar. And now that I'm actively pursuing trying to get a collection together, I actually spent hours and hours and hours searching through hundreds of comic books, probably 5, 6, 7, 800 comic books, just to find 2 or 3, which is fine for me. A lot of people say if you look at the top of the comic book, you'll see the insert. That never worked for me. I have never found a comic book where I can look through the top and see that it's a Mark Jeweler variant insert. I always have to flip through it. And at one point, I was flipping through every single book. And then I realized, wait a minute, let me do some research to kind of focus my attention. And that's when I started learning about Mark Jeweler variants are only newsstand editions only. Bam, you can knock that off your list. Next, Mark Jeweler variants are not in the extra large size comics. So they're not in the 64-page giant, the 80-page giant, the 100-page giant. You're not going to find them in those issues. You're going to find them in the regular cover, the regular floppies that are newsstand edition. And once I started putting the information together, it allowed me to flip through these books a lot faster to find them. I've seen a lot of people who say, well, I went to the flea market and a guy had an entire long box of Mark Jeweler variants. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So that's a little bit of information for you to chew on, and also for you to have in your pocket as you go and move through finding yourself and putting together a collection of the Mark Jeweler variants. What's in the Mark Jeweler variants? The Mark Jeweler variants have a 4-page centerfold splash of rings, diamonds, gold, different rings for people to purchase. And it's usually a 4-page. It's the front of one page, then the back, and then a centerfold, and then the back of another page that also comes with an order form. And I think in one of the images I'm going to show you, you will see that one of the, you could cut out a piece to put it around your ring to find your ring size. One from my collection, one of the ring measurement tapes have actually been cut out. It's a small chunk and it's been cut out, but it doesn't affect the book, which means the book is still whole, and it does not affect the actual. Well, I guess it does affect the actual ad because piece of it is cut out. But either way, for me, I'm taking it. Another thing for me is the books that I'm going to show you here. Probably about 99% of them were all dollar bin books that I found. One, the Machine Man, I actually already had, and I didn't even realize I already had it. So most of these books were all 99-cent or a dollar bin picking, and I specifically search for those. So there are still a lot of really cool collectibles you can find out there for in the dollar bin. It takes some time. The next thing, these are truly dollar bin books. Most of these are probably 5.5. Well, Most of them are 5.5 or a little bit lower. There are some that are 1 or 2 because they are ripped, but the first few pages are ripped, but the Mark Jeweler isn't. I also do have most of these, probably if not all of them. Actually, I'll take that back. All of them need to be pressed, which at some point I will press them just to have them nice and in a nice, neat way. So that way, when they're stored nicely. So they need to be pressed, and they really are, they're dollar bin books. Now comes the question of the value. There's two there's two schools of thought here, and one school of thought is they absolutely do increase the value of the book. I have seen the the first Deadpool, uh, which is a Mark Jeweler variant insert, extremely high in value, a lot more than the regular version or the direct edition version. I've seen many Mark Jeweler variants, especially when it comes to keys, but also when it comes to non-keys, just people are searching for those those Mark Jeweler variants. Are they still a dollar? I would say at this point, probably not. I think a lot of people now, and probably before I started collecting them or hunting them, a lot of people were already going after them and they were kind of sought after, even though there's some people who haven't jumped on the bandwagon, don't really know a lot about it. And they're saying, oh, it's not going to add any value to it. But time and time again, as you see the sales, whether you're on Macari, whether you're on Facebook Messenger, whether you're on IG, or if you're really, still on Feebay, which a lot of people are, you can see that for a large portion of the Mark Jeweler variants, the prices for these books have increased. Not exponentially. Some have, yes, but most of them have increased because of that Mark Jeweler insert. My belief and opinion is, as these books eventually get swooped up, there will be less and less and less out there for people to collect because they will already be in collections. I can tell you, I've spent hours looking in basements, comic book stores, and I haven't found a single one. And I mean, I spent hours. And when I say hours, I mean 3, 4, 5 hours searching for some of these variants, and they just don't come up. I think it's somewhere less than 5% of the print run, I would probably say less than 3% of the print run actually has the Mark Jeweler variant insert or the Mark Jeweler insert in it, which makes it that Mark Jeweler variant. So it is a very few and limited number of books that you can find them. However, as you can tell, this took me all of 4 months. And within these 4 months, I was able to get quite a few. There's those gold key. We're going to talk about them. You're going to see them. So um, you can still find them. I don't think they're going to be $1 anymore. I think they'll probably be anywhere upwards of, the cover price or the value of that book, depending on the grade, or 5, 6, $8 on up. So it kind of just depends on what you find, what issue, and who is aware of them, because there are some people who just, it's just the Mark Jeweler variant that they don't really care. You can buy it from them pretty quickly or pretty easily because to them it could care less, right? It's kind of like people who don't really care for signatures, right? For me, I care for signatures, so I would pay a little bit more for a signature. But for other people, they're like, it's just a signed book. It doesn't really bother me at all, right? It's not going to change anything for me. So again, that's some basic information about the Mark Jeweler variants. And again, I want to give a big shout out to Captain Kirk. He really did an extensive research on the DC Mark Jeweler variant books, and big ups to the dude because he really put in some work. And if you go to the CGC boards and you put in the Mark Jeweler variant, or you can search him on Google, you will definitely find his article. So you can find these Mark Jeweler variants on pretty much every popular book, whether it's DC, Superman, Batman, Detective, uh, Justice League, um, Firestorm, which is one of the first ones that I ended up finding. You can find them on Marvel books as well, X Factor, X-Men, DC, Jonah Hex. You can literally, I have found, here are DC's World Finest, and here is um, uh, DC Comics Presents. Both of these are Mark Jeweler variants. I found a really cool, which is also, if I remember correctly, a key. I can't remember. It's a first appearance of something, or maybe I'm wrong. Found it in here, and as you can see, this book here is really, not only is it completely wrinkled and needs a pressing, it's got a major rip or tear right there in front of it. This is probably one of the All Star Squadron. Really, really like this book. This is a really cool cover of Amazing Man. Was flipping through this book and I bought it because I want the actual book, love the cover. And then as I opened it, I realized, look, it's got a Mark Juler variant in it. So I was really happy. Batman, a lot of the Batman books are pretty sought after when it comes to the Mark Juler. A little bit harder to find from what I can tell and what I've researched. The Firestorm books, I found a few of these. I think this might have been one of the very second or third one that I actually picked up. Um, this has a Mark Juler variant in it. Beautiful book, beautiful cover. And the list goes on and on. I like the 20-cent adventure comics, nice Mark Juler variant inside that. And then you get into the Marvel books. And the Marvel books, again, a lot of the main titles. You have your Hulk covers, as you can see. This has got a rip over here. And it's got the ink, sorry, not the ink, but the wax pen on it. So you can see low grade on that one, but it has the Mark Juler variant inside. X Factor also. You could look at some of the X Factor the X Factor run. They have Mark Juler variant. I've actually found 3 of the X Factor Mark Juler variants. There's the third one. I actually like the Beast cover, which is really interesting. Not a big Beast fan, but I like them. I like the Dark Beast. You can find some from Alpha Flight. I really like that. I like the whole cover. And this was actually the first one that I purchased, which I didn't even know was a Mark Juler variant until I actually happened to just look through it through someday. And bam, there it is. And so if you're like me and you do a lot of reselling, one of the things that I do is I make sure I label, this is a Mark Juler variant, or I put something like you'll see in this book. Oh, not that one. See here, I put a little MJ at the top. That lets me know it's a Mark Juler variant so I don't get it mixed up with anything else. Another one of the very first books that I found that was a Mark Juler variant is a Fantastic Four. This is number 163. And for those of you that are out looking and you're gonna really do like me, you're gonna dig in. There is a really cool comprehensive list. I'm gonna show you some of the issues here. And so that way you'll be going back. And I'll also make sure that as I'm going through and putting up the really beautiful pictures of these books and their inserts, you'll be able to see exactly what issue these books are coming in. A really nice, cool ROM. I think that might be one of the only 1 or 2 ROM books that I actually own in my entire collection, in my entire life. It's from the toys. And that was ROM number 66. One of my newest and most fun books, Herb Trimpe's Shogun Warrior. This is issue number 20. I think I need to get a whole run of these. I really like this. So I do have some of these. I have Herb Trimpe's Transformers signed, and I think I have one or two, maybe 3 of these in my collection that's signed by Herb Trimpe as well. Maybe is it Transformers or GoBots? I have to look it up, but either way, Herb Trimpe goodness, I like that. Picked up a Thor. That's really cool. These 2 are the newest ones to my collection. The Thor, number 388, and the Shogun Warrior number 20. These are the 2 newest. Blah 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 blah. A complete brain fart. Those are the 2 newest Mark Juler variants that I have picked up. Now, and I told you about the gold key, and I happened to have picked these up 2 different times. I didn't pick them all up at one time. I found one, went back and found another. Now, whoever this Linda person is who wrote her name over the book, I'm not mad at her, but now it just tells me when I see that I need to grab it because it looks like she had a bunch of the Mark Juler variants in her collection, and was probably with some kid who got these a little bit later and wrote their name on because they didn't want to lose. But here you have Porky Pig, beautiful. That has a Mark Juler variant in it. Chip and Dale. I used to watch all these cartoons when I was a kid. Mark Julia variant in it. And of course, who doesn't love a good old Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd? I'm gonna get that weapon. So all three of these have Mark Julia variants. And for me, these were not on my radar, not one single bit. And I just happened, I'm for whatever reason, I don't even collect the funny books like that. But if I find a nice one, especially because it had so much writing on it, I was like, oh, I'm definitely not buying that one. But for some reason, I just took a quick look for some reason, and bam, there it was. Just beautiful, beautiful Mark Julia variants. So let's talk about the Mark Julia variants. These Mark Julia variants can come in various colors. The insert itself, they can come in red, blue, black, green. And as you can see from the pictures that you'll have scrolling across your page, scrolling across the video, the colors are vibrant, they're bright. It's really cool. I have found one that I have not been able to, I have found a Mark Julia variant that someone else has collected that I have not been able to find. And it is the Mark Julia variant that has multicolor backgrounds for the different ring sets that they're selling, which I thought was pretty cool. So I haven't found that one yet. All of mine are just, as you can see, the whole background is red, the whole black background is blue or purple or green or light red. There's some lighter reds and some fuchsia type reds. There's, I think a purple one as well. Yellow is also in there. So I have not found the one that had the multicultural multicolor backgrounds to the different rings, but I'm hoping to find one soon. So anyway, that is my collection of my Mark Julia variants at this point. For me, again, I found most of these books in dollar bins because I was searching like a crazy, well, not even a crazy, I'm just the dollar bin champ. You know how it is, baby. I'm just the dollar bin champ. So I love the dollar bins. I love putting together runs and sets from my dollar bins, reading them, and oftentimes I buy them, read them, and sell them back on, move them on to someone else. So if you're a store out there, I would say put all your dollar bin stuff in alphabetical order. Let your customers get it quick and easy, and bam, believe me, they will trust and love you for it later. So those of you that are searching, definitely just spend some time searching for your Mark Julia variants. So I have way more Mark Julia variants here than I put up on the screen for you guys. So I hope you enjoy them. I hope these, always pull this video up when you're out searching or before you go hunting so you can see some of the books you can actually go out and pick up. And man, do not forget those gold key issues because boy, I'm thinking back now how many gold key issues I just ignored and kept going and how many probably had the Mark Julia variant in there. So anyway, that's the Mark Julia variant portion of the video. Another important piece. Many Mark Julia variants will have a star stamped on them. That was because when the book was purchased from the PX or the BX or the Post Exchange or the Base Exchange, they were stamped to show that the book was sold. I have not found any of those star stamps yet. So I'm not sure. So these either were purchased without someone stamping them, or they were purchased at a different location where they didn't do the stamp, or they were purchased near the military base versus on the military base. So I'm still trying to find one that has the little ink star stamp that's usually up in the corner of the book that says, it was sold. Once I do, I'll do it. Once I do it, I'll come back and show you. And once I get more Mark Julia variants, I will definitely post more, do another video on the next set of Mark Julia variants. And I am on the hunt. So for the next year, when I travel and go places, I'm going to spend at least a few hours hunting through those back issue bins trying to find my Mark Julia variants. So I hope you guys got a lot out of the Mark Julia variants. Hope I gave you guys some really cool information. Please remember, like, share, subscribe, Marvel, DC, and Gold Key. That's where your Mark Julia variants will be. So you can skip past all the Image, Dark Horse, all those other comic book companies, because if you're on that hunt for those Mark Julia variants, that's where you'll find them. Having this knowledge, I hope having this knowledge helps you to really focus your attention on the books that you need to look for, those books between 1972 and 1986. And it is being able to realize that they are only on the newsstand edition. They are not on the direct edition with the little Spidey head or the Superman logo or this or that. They're only going to be on those newsstand editions. And when you take a look at let me flip back through this real quick. When you take a look through the Marvel, the DC ones, you'll see that yes, it has all of the barcode. So you want to make sure you are looking for those barcoded edition, which are the newsstand editions of those comic books. So we're going to move right on to the next portion of our video, which is a PGX unboxing. Well, actually, it's not even an unboxing. I've had the books for a while. I just never did anything with them. So now I got a minute. I'm going to do something. It is a nice, cool, crisp, rainy day. I figured, you know what, let's make some content and put it out there for the people. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and pass it on. So let's get to some of these PGX books. And let me be clear. I said PGX, I'm wrong. I realized I actually got a mail call, a 4-5 CBCS books, which I've known on any CBCS books. I haven't submitted to CBCS yet, which I'm hoping to correct soon. And I have a CGC book, a newer CGC book. I needed to pull the trigger on this one because I did not want to be left out, because boy, am I left out when it comes to the Spider-Man. So the first thing I have, just want everybody to know, I am all in when it comes to Something is Killing the Children. I know everybody else is, and I know people are really excited about the show that's coming, and I think James Tynion is prepared with his new production company to really pump out some books. I'm hoping everything is going to be on par with what he's writing, and if they are, things will be good. But this is my Something is Killing the Children collection. I have been kind of on this bandwagon, unfortunately not at number one, probably around number 4 or 5. I really didn't pick it up in the beginning. I don't really know why. It just wasn't really on my radar. But I've rectified that problem. So I have gone back and purchased a lot. So here we have this is all the David Mack variant collection of 1 through 5. So I have another collection of these that's all signed. I'm telling you, I'm in for the Something of the Children. So that's something of the children. That's Something's Killing the Children number 1. And boy, oh boy, I cannot wait for this show to come out, because, oh my gosh, as long as the show is a fraction of what the book is, it's going to be great. So that was number 1. Here is your David Mack Something is Killing the Children variant number 2. All of these are, actually, these are 9/8 and 9/6. And I want to give a big shout out to my homeboy, Rockstone Rick. He's on Facebook. He does online auctions. He does sales. He does new comics. He goes to different conventions. He gets signature books signed. He gets books signed, submitted to CGC. The dude does it all. He is a one-stop shop. So your boy, Rockstone Rick, Brotherhood of Comics, go find him on Facebook. Tell him Tyrone, his homeboy sent him. You guys will love it. Believe me, he's got great books. I want to get him on for an interview, because he is buying a ton of collections. When I mean a ton, I mean, oh boy is buying a grip. Boy is buying a grip. Here is number 3 from the David Mack collection. And I'm almost certain everybody is either reading Something is Killing the Children or know about the book. And yes, it's a horror book, and it is good. And it is not really slowed down at all. The story has gotten a little bit more in depth. They have a spinoff called House of Slaughter, which I'm also picking up. Really good book. Really good book. We also have, here you have another 9/8. The last one was a 9/6. We have another 9/8. This is number 4, David Mack variant. And here is our last one, number 5, also a 9.6 David Mack Something is Killing the Children variant as well. Really like those books. Those are cool books. So again, if you aren't not into those books, I would suggest you go and find some trades or something to read, or back issues, because boy, are they banging. Here is PGX 9.8 signed. This is signed by, what's my guy's name? Werther Deladera, if I said that properly. Number 19, Something is Killing the Children. Again, I told you I'm down with it. And I have extra copies of that as well. And here is number 20. Something is killing the children. I am, listen, I am all in for this book. I am all in 100%. Next. This is another book that I am 100% all in. And the great part about it is I just was able to meet the writer, Mr. Rodney Barnes. And if you go through my channel, you will see that I did an interview with Mr. Barnes recently. We talked about his career. We talked about comics. We talked about horror, those types of things. So it's a really cool video. So please, once you finish with this one, click on over and check that one out. So I am definitely all in with Something is Killing the Children. Also, again, man, I slacked up on it. I'm sorry, Mr. Barnes and Mr. Alexander. I slacked up on it, but I made up for it later on because I have been on the hunt. So that is number one. That's a Sean Alexander, Jason Sean Alexander cover. And here is also another Philadelphia. This one is a 9.6, also signed as well. This is the first, I think this is a cover. Great story. I would definitely say pick this up, but I would also say you should pick up Nita Hawes' Nightmare blog, which connects to this one as well. Great horror stories, just great writing. Rodney Barnes, who did Everybody Hates Chris, he did The Boondocks, he did My Wife and Children. He is just really doing his thing. So check out my Rodney Barnes video to see what other wonderful things he is up to. Next, I told you I missed out on some Spawn, but I fixed that really quickly because I said Spawn, sorry, Spider-Man. I missed out on some Spider-Man in the past, and I decided every new Spider-Man with first appearance, I'm going to go out and grab because he's going to show up. And bam, he's showing up in Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is really cool. So I've had this book for a while. This is Venom, signed by Ann Nocenti. I got a few copies of those. Really, really digging those books. And that's number one. That's that embossed cover. It's got the embossed on the cover. The next books are Amazing Spider-Man number 26. It is The Death of Kamala Khan. It's significant, very significant, because we now know that she is a mutant. She was an Inhuman, and I think the Mist also, when she was an Inhuman, unlocked, not 100% familiar, unlocked her mutant gene. So that's pretty cool. So here we have Amazing Spider-Man 26, signed by Zeb Wells and signed by John Romita Jr. Most of these books I had signed and then graded after San Diego Comic-Con 2023 last year. Here's another cover of those. This is a John Romita cover, John Romita Jr. cover, excuse me, signed by Zeb Wells and of course John Romita Jr. there at the top. And then someone who I really kind of just came onto my radar. I'm really digging his covers. This is David Nakayama. So this is Amazing Spider-Man number 29. This is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, signed by Zeb Wells and David Nakayama. Beautiful cover of Storm and Jean Grey. Beautiful, beautiful cover. That's at the gala. And of course, if everybody's been alive and you've been watching, we all know Spider-Boy has just been burning up the scene. Gosh, dude is everywhere. I love this cover because I love the sneakers. Let's be clear. I designed a pair of sneakers myself. We'll see what happens with that in the future, but these sneakers are bomb. I have to admit, these sneakers, they're pretty slick. They are pretty slick. And I have to say, it's San Diego Comic-Con this year. The Miles Morales Nikes were released. It didn't do it. They missed the mark big time. So I'm hoping that what I was looking for would be the Miles Morales shoes that Mike Mayhew designed. That is the Nike shoe, or whoever wants to do it. That's the shoe that I was looking for. Mike Mayhew's Miles Morales covers with those sneakers. Oh, That's tough. And when I say that's just tough. If they make Spider Boy shoes, I'm gonna have to grab a pair of these. The Miles Morales ones that I saw, it was just the color scheme. I wasn't having it. Also, I think it was Asics. They have a, is it Asics? Better check it. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think it was Asics that has a few shoes that support, or I should say, that are inspired by some Marvel and maybe Marvel and DC characters. I think it's just Marvel. But I'm going to give a shout out right now. Marvel, if you guys are watching, that's the shoe to make right there. I mean, that is the shoe to make because, wow, that's a good one. Next, these last three are newer books. I am still in the process of reading all of these and getting them, but I picked up these because I felt I had extra copies of these after getting them signed. So I was like, yep, we're going to roll with these. And I'm sure everybody's reading World Tree. World Tree. So this is World Tree number 2, signed by James Tynion, and he is quickly becoming one of my favorite writers. I have to say, dude's got the chops. He's got the chops. Here's World Tree number 3, also signed by James Tynion. And here is one of the variant covers to World Tree number 3 also. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is my unboxing of my beautiful comics and showing you guys some of my really, really amazing Mark Jeweler variants. And I have to say, I am just ecstatic when it comes to hunting for new books, hunting for new collectibles, exclusives. You know, I'm not really big into the whole variant cover at this point. I think it's okay, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like itching to get it. I'm itching to get these. I'm itching to get multiple copies of all of these Mark Jeweler variants, and I'm going to be on the hunt for the next year to pick up as absolute positively as many as I can, because the hunt is on and the hunt is real, baby. Jonah Hex, Squadron, All-Star Squadron, World's Finest, all Mark Jeweler variants. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for checking me out. Please like, share, subscribe, and I hope to see you again next time. Collect all of the things that you love collecting, read them, enjoy them, pass them on to other people, help grow the hobby. And on that note, I appreciate you. One more thing. Keep your eye out for new music from your boy Cool Ty. I'm going to be releasing some new music within the next week. It'll be here on this channel, so make sure you like that, share it, tell me what you think about it as well. A lot of really good things are happening for me in 2024. Hopefully by June, my kids' book will be done. I can start selling that. I wrote another book about the foster pup who's the sock stealer, who's the sock bandit, steals all my socks, all my wife's socks. So there's a lot of wonderful things happening in 2024. And I want to say, may wonderful things happen to you as well. May you continue to prosper and be successful in all your endeavors and all your collecting as well. So on that note, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Enjoy your hobby, enjoy the hobby, enjoy your collection. I always say, spread the love, spread the joy, and let's keep moving forward.
Listen to the CD.
Cool Time the way out.
Pay homage to all the men and women that came before me. Every D, Cool Mo D, Queen Latifah.